This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by Nepsis Advisor Services. Nepsis Advisor Services is an SEC-registered investment advisor. Tune in to Sunny 1320 and 1450 Wednesdays at 11:30 to Journeys with Joni. You'll learn more about the financial decisions we make every day and how we can gain financial clarity in our lives. So join Joni Rametta Wednesdays at 11:30 here on Sunny.
Welcome to Journeys with Joni. My name's Joni Rametta, and I'm here today with my co-host, Mark Clark. Mark, say hi.
Well, good afternoon, Joni, or should I say good morning? I'm in a hurry today.
Yes, you are. Join us as we travel on the financial road to clarity. I'm excited about our program today. We have with us Beth Wascom. She's an attorney with Muirhead, Gaylor, Steves, and Wascom in Venice. Beth, say hi.
Hey, Joni. Hey, Mark.
Good to have you here, Beth.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks for taking time out of your busy day to spend a little bit of time with us and our listeners.
No problem. It's my honor.
Well, as we're going on this journey, we've talked several times about our philosophy of investing with clarity. We've had a few guests on our show previously. We've had tax talks. We've had
we talked about kids.
We talked about kids.
Keeping the kids safe.
Yeah. And so this time I think we're going to talk about some estate planning and some of the legalities of some of the things that we all need to be aware of. And sometimes things that we run into our clients not having and not knowing about that when they work with their attorney. So Beth, give us some stuff about what's going on in estate planning and what you sort of are seeing, some different things that are changing now.
Things not really changing, but obviously all the tax laws do progress. But I guess some things that I'm very passionate about are making sure that individuals during their lifetime have taken care of their needs and somebody who can take care of them. And that's going to be in some simple documents that I think everybody's heard about, like a durable power of attorney. Everybody hears about that. A durable power of attorney is basically where somebody, such as yourself, Joni, has the ability to name somebody to take care of your financial affairs. Let's say that you get sick and you can't pay your bills. Well, if you haven't legally given somebody that capability, who's going to do it for you? And if it's a continuation in a sickness and, unfortunately in our elderly, it could end up in a guardianship. And you really want to, in my opinion, when you turn 18, basically name the people to be in charge of your financial health. And not only finances, what about health care? I want to make sure that I have somebody who respects my decisions and knows me. I mean, Joni, you know me. You would know what to do. But I would have to appoint you to be able to make some of those healthcare decisions for me. And something I think that's critical, and especially in our seniors and in women. Women, sorry, Mark, but we're outliving everybody. Male persuasions here. And we really need to concentrate on, if there's nobody around, our children are off doing their own thing, who's going to take care of us?
Right.
And we are living longer and longer that sooner or later, you're going to need someone to legally take care of you. So you've got to, I would rather see everybody have these health cares and these durables more so than a will. I mean, a will is very important. I don't want to say you don't need one, but I want dignity in life for my clients. And that means that they should legally appoint people.
Yeah, we have that a lot with clients because what happens is mom goes into the hospital. Now a bill needs to be paid. We have the money, they call up, and mom doesn't have the power of attorney on file with us. Hopefully somebody in the family has it, and then we can start that process. But if you haven't gotten that, then at that point, it could even be too late, could it not?
Oh, many times we get a call and they say, my mom's incompetent, but I need to take care of her needs. Everything is in her sole name. And I'm sitting there saying, why am I getting the phone call now?
Right.
If mom's incompetent, she can't legally give control to anybody. And therefore, we have to say, you've got to get a guardianship. It's not a very dignified procedure. I mean, it's there, and people give a lot of great care. But, gosh, you could go visit an attorney well before that and get this in place. And then when somebody does get ill, all the steps are there. And it flows very smoothly if you've gone ahead and gotten this done, and so critical.
Right, and that's one of the things you mentioned was when you turn 18. One of the things is I actually have a child who just turned 19, and that's one of the things that you and I had a conversation about, getting a power of attorney and getting that durable will and things going for him for his health care. And he signed and gave the power to mom.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to love that in the future. But yes, just think about it. They're 18. They're in college. They don't necessarily know what's going on. They need your help. They're sick. You can't talk to the doctor. And I've had calls, I think, talking to you. I've talked to some of our other friends who said, I called up there to find out about financial issues. And they said, your child's 18. We cannot speak to, so we need to have this on file.
Even if we're still writing the checks.
Even if we're still writing the checks. And it's unbelievable. My son's going to turn, gosh, I can't believe it, but 18 in the fall. And that is going to be one of his birthday gifts, especially naming me in control.
Now, once they name you or me, once they get older, they get married, they can change that. That's not written in stone.
Oh, absolutely. It's revocable. And that's very important for people to know, that the documents that you are signing are changeable, and just make sure, that that's something that you're aware of, and that, as we progress in life and the people that take care of us change or move or do something, that you do take a look at your documents. Don't get them. Don't put them in a drawer. 2011, our durable power of attorneys law is completely changed. So you need to revisit that. You need to take a look at it. I pulled out my parents' will. You'd think that would be done all the time several years ago, and I still had a guardian. So, I mean, maybe
You're a little old for a guardian.
Not that much, but yeah. So you have to revisit these documents so that they keep up with you, and it's critical. Our advances in medical, make sure that we do the advances in legal area, because we are going to, unfortunately, grow older. What life expectancy now is well in the 80s, and
I'm living to 99. I don't know about you.
Whoa. We need some big documents for you, Mark. But we need to make sure that we, take care of ourselves.
So you two are off on a roll here, and I'm loving the conversation. And the neat thing about this is when you do planning, the show Journeys with Joni here, it's a lot of fun to get these two working together for you and with you. It's pretty neat. But, you guys took off and are running into some great stuff. I have some questions I want to ask. But Beth, how do people get a hold of you?
Oh, basically, call me at my, law firm. It's in Sarasota and Venice. I've got offices in both areas. It's 941-484-3000. Ask for me. I speak to potential clients.
Wonderful. All right. Well, we'll be back with Beth just right after the break. Stay with us.
Do you know what you own and why you own it? Join us for our next workshop to learn about investing with clarity by calling 941-361-1484 to reserve your seat today. Joni and Mark look forward to discussing the philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency, the 4 pillars of investing, with Nepsis Advisor Services. Call today, 941-361-1484. That's 941-361-1484. Journey with Joni will be hosting a workshop on Thursday, February 20th. A great opportunity to meet Mark and Joni. So join them on February 20th. Please call 941-361-1484 today to reserve your seat. Call 941-361-1484 today. They look forward to meeting you.
Just before the break, we were having a wonderful conversation with Beth about wills, power of attorneys, and things like that. We gave out her number, which is, Beth, what's your phone number again?
It's 941-484-3000. I'm located in both Sarasota and Venice.
Anybody can give her a call anytime. And if you want to get in touch with me or Mark, you could give us a call at 941-361-1484. And Mark, during the break, just before the break, you sort of got involved because we sort of left you out.
I kind of tried to butt in. You all have to see this. This is great. These are two friends for a long time. I've been a friend too. They just don't want to admit it. But these two are on a roll. They're just talking about some great stuff. Beth is an estate planning attorney. He's been in our community for a long time. And they're both Joni and Beth they're 29. So they're awesome to work with. But we were on a roll of some very tactical, very attorney or legalese stuff that's going kind of deep, which is very, very important. But our listeners are out there tuning into us. It's right before lunchtime. They're thinking about what they're going to have on their sandwich or what they're going to put in their soup bowl. And I can feel people saying, I don't have enough money, I have too much money. Who needs the stuff we're talking about? I love the fact that you started off with 18-year-olds because it's never too early to plan. But who needs this? What's the sweet spot for who needs this, Beth?
Basically, you just brought up the age. It's actually anybody over the age of 18, and it really isn't about what you have and what you don't have. It's really about protecting yourself as an individual medically and financially. So you don't have to have, obviously you have to pay someone to get this done, but it's not like you have to have a certain limit size of assets to actually have an estate plan, because as I said, it's about medical. Mm-hmm. You want someone you trust to be able to take care of your medical needs when you get sick. Everybody gets sick. You want someone to take care of your bills if you can't do it. Everybody has bills. Everybody has financial obligations. And something that's really interesting in a durable power of attorney, what about social media? We've seen a lot on the internet now about parents not able to obtain the Facebook for their kids. Their kids are sick or unfortunately have passed on. But if they're sick, your durable power of attorney actually in mind, you can actually access social media. So it goes further than just investments, bank accounts. It's about your life, everything you do, everything you sign your name to. Somebody needs to have control of that other than yourself. And you really have to think about the people that you trust. Joni, you've got to think about who could take care of you. I've got to think about who can take care of me. Mark, the same thing. We think about our children. I'm a single mom. I have to think about who is out there to take care of me. I have named my parents. My parents are older. I've got to then start backing up and say, who can it be? Mark just mentioned you and I have been friends for years. Joni, I'd have you do anything for me in a heartbeat. But I have to put that in writing. So who should do it? Absolutely everybody should do this, because sooner or later, these documents are going to be utilized.
Beth, we were getting ready for the show, and you brought up an interesting topic that I frankly didn't think about, and it's passwords. The simple fact of a password, I know we want to, the joke also before the show as we were getting ready for this is it's a man's world, and the women are taking over, but we haven't done a good job of, and the conversation was really about doing things together. And unfortunately, the older generation, the guy's always done it. And that's not always a good thing, especially since we exit stage left usually before the gals do. But when it comes to passwords and it comes to access and it comes to the ability to be able to function, talk about some of the challenges that you've seen people have.
And that's a great point, because estate planning is not just all these documents. It's understanding your financial plan and what you have out there. And what I see, and this is time after time, is somebody comes in, and yes, Mark, it's usually the man who wants to go first because it's easier and leaves the woman the mess. So the woman comes in.
I love that.
Hey, it's true.
It's the truth.
So the woman comes in and they're not internet savvy, and the man's been paying all the bills online. They're not getting statements. They're not getting anything on the electricity, on Comcast or anything like that. And they don't even know how to access the computer with the passwords to get in. And, I think about in my own situation, I do a lot of these things online.
We all do, because we're encouraged.
Exactly.
We're encouraged to.
Who's got your passwords?
Nobody.
Okay, see, that's an issue. And the thing is, Joni, if you get ill and you're in the hospital, how are we going to come pay your bills? How are we going to keep everything going for your boys? Realistically, estate planning is you sitting down and saying, okay, who's going to take care of me? But then list out your bank accounts, list out your assets, list out everything, your passwords, so that somebody can walk in and say, guess what? And make it easy. This is where I can locate. I have some people walk in that don't even know where the bank account is. And the other thing is who is it titled in? I think, Mark, we were talking about, bills beforehand, like Comcast or your electric. I'm just using that as a name because obviously they're a great cable company. But is the cable bill in your name? Is it in your spouse's name? What if something happened to your spouse? Can you talk to them? Can you talk to the power company? What can you do? This is all about estate planning. Estate planning is not just about death. It's about life.
About life, right.
Absolutely.
So you're making a very complex issue very simple.
It should be. You've got to break it down so that if something happens to you, somebody knows your story and can get your story in a simplistic way to help you. And
that's interesting, Beth. You say that. Sorry to interrupt you, but I had a family member pass away, and he had nothing written down. And I found the family in a situation of saying, we have no idea what his intentions were, what he wanted, what he would like to have, and it was tough.
It is tough. And when somebody in a family is going through grief, nobody thinks clearly. So if this thing is done in advance, clarity, and you talk about clarity as a topic, really will be there for them, and therefore they don't have to guess. And estate planning is taking guesswork out during the worst time in your life.
Well, and as you're grieving somebody leaving, you don't want to have to worry about the electricity being turned off. You don't want to have to worry about the hassles of, am I doing the right things? If that's all laid out and we know all that stuff planned, then when something like the tragic like that happens, life can go on, and we can do the grieving process that we're supposed to do and let the rest of it sort of move on its own.
And that's what estate planning is about.
So, Beth, how do people get a hold of you?
My phone number is 941-484-3000. Like I said, I have an office in Venice and in Sarasota.
And Joni, we got some cool things coming up here shortly. And how do folks get a hold of us? We're going to stick Beth's contact info on our webpage.
Yeah, we have a webpage, www.journeyswithjoni.com. And we're going to have a couple workshops coming up. We have one on Thursday, March 6th, and again on Thursday, March 20th. You can give us a call at 941-361-1484, and we'll be right back.
Do you know what you own and why you own it? Join us for our next workshop to learn about investing with clarity by calling 941-361-1484 to reserve your seat today. Joni and Mark look forward to discussing the philosophy, strategy, flexibility, and transparency, the 4 pillars of investing, with Nepsis Advisor Services. Call today, 941-361-1484. That's 941-361-1484. Journey with Joni will be hosting a workshop on Thursday, February 20th. A great opportunity to meet Mark and Joni. So join them on February 20th. Please call 941-361-1484 today to reserve your seat. Call 941-361-1484 today. They look forward to meeting you.
Welcome back to Journeys with Joni. I'm Joni Rametta, and I'm here with Beth and Mark, and we were having a discussion just before the break about, well, actually we were talking more about some women and the fact that some of the guys sort of check out sooner than the women do. I know personally, I've got a grandma who's over 100 now, and my grandfather's been gone for at least 20 years. So, you know, what happens when the spouse goes and somebody who hasn't been paying the bills is now responsible for paying the bills and has everything set up? So we're going to finish that conversation here this afternoon.
And my lovely wife and I have an agreement. We're going together. I said, I'm going at 99. She goes, well, if you're going to 99, that's not fair. I'll be 97. So you're jipping me by 2 years. So I'm not going to win any of that discussion.
No, you're not.
Oh, well, this is kind of funny because actually I have quite a few clients that are actually in their hundreds and couples. But unfortunately, what I do usually see is the wife surviving much longer than her husband. And so I do look at, what do women know? Do they know the estate plan? Do they know everything out there? And I'm not just talking to widows. I am talking to women of all ages, because unfortunately, I see it across the board that women do not know what is out there in their financial plan. And sorry, Mark, but this is my comment. A man is not a financial plan. Women need to know their own plan. They need to rely on themselves. Definitely. I love marriages. I love that they're strong, but they really need to know what's there. And I see so many times that people come in and the man talks to me and the woman is just nodding her head, or I hate to say it, vice versa too.
It
what I want everybody is, I want it to be joint. I want everybody in that family to know exactly what's going on. It's not really one versus the other, but in the older generation it was. And they really didn't know what was out there for them, what was going to be their benefit. And they really need to sit down with their spouse, or if they're single, is just understand where their investments are, how they are titled, what's going to help them in the future. not just have somebody say, oh, this is what you should be in, this is how it should be done, or this is where your money should go. Question. And I know, Joni, you're really good with that
right.
You basically look at them as a human and say, okay, what is your fight? What are your goals? And we do that in estate planning too.
We have to do it with everything because, a lot of times if you're the female in the relationship and you have kids, you're busy doing the kid stuff. So you're very busy, but one day your life can turn upside down and you need to so it's not that you need to be an expert at it. It's that you need to know what's out there, where everything is, who the contacts are, have had that face-to-face meeting. I like to talk to both the husband and the wife.
Absolutely. Sit down. If you are married, sit down and make a list. Who are the bank accounts? How they're titled? Are they joint? Are they sole? Insurance. Who's your agent? Who's the beneficiary? One of the biggest issues I have is that a lot of times people have insurance policies or IRAs and they don't have named beneficiaries.
That's a problem.
It's a huge problem. It can be a tax consequence. It could be a creditor issue. So sit down, make a list of your financial assets. Find out how they're titled, who's the beneficiary designation. Find out where all your bills are. Once a month, sit down and do a financial checklist. Then take a look at your estate plan. If you don't have one, get one. But if you do, who's taking care of you? Who are your durable power of attorney? Who's your health care? Who's your personal representative? I have a lot of people that bring them in to me, and the people they had appointed
are gone.
They're gone.
Right.
So it wouldn't have worked in the first place.
Well, and a lot of times I think we're all telling everybody to do everything on the internet. Now, I do bill pay too. So obviously I need to leave my password someplace so somebody can pay my bills. But another thing is that we have all of our stuff sent to our emails. And I think I recommend to all my clients have the daily stuff, the confirmations on trades or those kind of things sent by email. And then the hard statements once a month, send that, because you know what happens every month, the mail's coming in. So if something happens to me whenever, there's going to be mail coming in that people are going to see where I have all my stuff as well.
Oh, I know everybody's trying to go paperless, but I'm like you, Joni. Maybe I don't get it monthly, but at least quarterly, get something so you have a hard copy of it. This is a great time.
End of year.
End of the year. Get an end of the year statement. If you've never looked at it, go ask about it. Get it. Start asking questions. You are empowered when you know what you have and you are entitled to it. And it can happen to anybody. I had a girlfriend, loved her dearly, married, top of her class in law school. And she just started raising kids, so she didn't start asking questions. And I said, okay, have you asked questions? Let's go through it. Her husband, it was during that 2005, boom, started putting all their money in real estate. And unfortunately, she had no idea, smart as she was. And as soon as we started investigating, she understood where her money was going. She got it backed up. She got some cash out before the real estate crashed, and they would have lost everything.
That's a sad story. There's actually a book out there that I read recently. It's called something to the effect, it's not exactly it, but What If My Prince Charming Doesn't Come? We all have to be prepared for, you're right.
What if he's not so charming and he did come?
Well, and what if he did some investments you didn't know about? So as women, we need to be aware of what's going on and where things are.
We are.
Absolutely.
Now, I do have 3 daughters, so I do have some skin in this interesting conversation game today. But in all seriousness, I'm very passionate about this. And, estate planning, a lot of the things you're talking about, Beth, people tend to think, I did that once or it was done for me. It's the documents in the envelope that's somewhere in the bookcase, in the drawer somewhere, and when I need it, I'll go get it. And you see that a lot.
I
right?
see that an awful lot, and they can't find it. They can't find the original copies. They're so outdated when they do find them, or they're in their safe deposit box. Well, most of these documents are needed in case of emergency. The last thing you want to wait is between 9 and 5, the bank hours, to find it in case of emergency. Emergencies aren't 9 to 5. They're 24 hours a day. And we need those files in places that we can access so we may help. We actually scan all our documents online. Many times I'm emailing them to clients, so they're actually an email file and a hard copy. I want both. I even encourage my clients that travel and drive in a car to actually have my documents under their seat. So in case of an accident, it's easily identified. Phone numbers in case of emergency are right in my documents.
Right.
I mean, I'm really passionate about people taking care of themselves.
Being prepared.
So the cool thing, we're almost out of time here. We're on a roll. But I think one of the neat things our listeners would love to take advantage of is to work with the tag team dynamic duo of Beth and Joni. That's possible, folks. And they can reach us. Beth, before I give Joni's information, because we're really out of time, Beth, how do people get a hold of you? Throw your phone number out there one more time.
Phone number is 941-484-3000. Call and ask for me. I'd love to speak to you.
And Joni, you can coordinate a meeting for somebody with the two of you together, can't you?
Oh, absolutely. And you can reach me at www.journeyswithjoni.com. We'll have a link to Beth there. And also you can give us a call at 941-361-1484. So thanks for sharing your time with us today. We look forward to talking to you next week.
This program is for informational and educational purposes only. This program is not a solicitation or recommendation for any investment or security. Investments or securities mentioned in this show may or may not be owned by Nepsis Advisor Services. Nepsis Advisor Services is an SEC-registered investment advisor. Tune in to Sunny 1320 and 1450 Wednesdays at 11:30 to Journeys with Joni. You'll learn more about the financial decisions we make every day and how we can gain financial clarity in our lives. So join Joni Rametta Wednesdays at 11:30 here on Sunny.